11:15. Been working since about 8:05 this morning. I'm weared out. Well, not weared out, but that's a lot earlier than I normally start. So I'm gonna have me a tea break. Got what's left of the packet of ginger nuts. Cup of tea on the brew. Maybe a bit of fruit. Might eat some of my wife's strawberries and stuff. The main reason for the video is this. Some of you guys might recognise it straight away. Some of you might not. It is Colombia River. Here we go with the ridiculous focus. Let's have that now. Design #5, Liong Ma Design #5. I bought this about a month ago from Henny Hayes or whatever it's called. It's not really an impulse purchase. I was choosing between this and another one, I can't remember what it is, to try and replace my other knife. Another EDC knife. I'm basically looking for a new EDC knife. That's my current EDC knife. Some of you might realise I'm not entirely sure what it's called, but it's a double blade. It's a Spyderco / bird, whichever you want to call it. See, bird. 2 blades. And it's really, I think I've had this one for well over a year, maybe 2 now, and it's actually a really good knife. It locks open nice and sturdy. Takes quite a bit, you know, not tons. We can do a test on a set of scales in there shortly and you'll see the difference. But it's got a straight blade and a serrated blade, so I use the serrated blade for cutting rough stuff. I use the straight blade for just stuff that I need to be a bit more careful with. Some of you know I'm not particularly good at sharpening knives, but you know, I do my best. But anyway, so this is the one I've been using. This is the one I was going to replace it with. Not to put too fine a point on it, this is shite. I really don't like it at all. The blade is nice, it's quite nice, it's quite wide. It has the same issues that most of the UK legal carry knives have, which is quite simply, it's just so small, and obviously it doesn't lock open. I've never really liked using small lock knives. It's too easy to end up with a knife doing that, especially if you put any kind of pressure on it. My biggest issue with this, out of the box, it was barely sharp at all. It struggled to cut through even the simplest things. It's almost as if someone had already used it and blunted it. So I had to go on the stones for a little while and got it a little bit sharper, but even then it's still not very good. Doesn't seem to want to take a very good edge. I don't know whether this 6520 steel that this is made of, you can see that down there if the camera will focus, which it probably won't. Put my thumb in there, there you go. I don't know whether that 6520 steel is any tougher than this. I mean, this is put my thumb in there again. I'll focus on my thumb instead. This is chrome moly, I think, but that holds its edge much better. I don't know whether this is really tough or I don't know, maybe I just did a really bad job of sharpening it, but it did get sharper. So issues, number one, it's small, but I just have to deal with that. This is England. I can't carry a big knife around with me, whether it be a lock knife or a fixed blade, because according to UK law, obviously a lock knife is a fixed blade. And they want us to put ourselves at risk. I think it's actually to try and stop people carrying knives altogether. The issues I have are, try and get this list done first time. Firstly, the belt clip, not very good. It seems to fall off quite a lot. Not that I really use a belt clip, but what I do tend to do is I keep my keys on the knife, and well, my key with its happy smiley face. I keep my keys on the knife, and this one is slightly, albeit slightly thinner. It just doesn't feel right in my pocket with the keys on it, and this doesn't hold on to the keys particularly well. I guess it holds onto a belt fine. Issue number 2 is this. This is just ridiculous. It is so easy to lock this blade. I'll try and show you. This is probably going to blind you when I lift it up there because it's going to go outside, but I can, with a little bit of a flick, with my bare hands. I'll do it a couple of times because I don't know whether you can. Let's have a look here, see what you can see. I can just do that with it, and that to me is no good. Absolutely no good whatsoever. I've tried tightening up the pivot bolt, and it's not made hardly any difference at all tightening that bolt up. Or it does, it makes it tighter, but it basically makes the knife so tight that it's just so difficult to open because the blade is so small. And for a knife that closes so easy, it's really quite difficult to get open in the first place, because for some reason, although there's a thumb cut out, they've decided to put a lip on each side right where your thumb would need to go. You see, I would use my thumb there. I can just about get my thumb on this and open it. Just about. But I have really big hands, so it's quite difficult for me. That's pretty much all it is. Like I say, I've used it for a month. It's done basic cutting duties. Can finish my tea. It's done basic cutting duties. Nothing too major, you know. Opening packets of bacon, skinning a couple of rabbits, some mild wood chopping and the like. But I can't deal with a knife that will close that easily. I'll go and grab the wife's scales in a minute. She's got some scales that measures in grams, and we'll try the difference between the two. I don't know, it could be me. I could just get so used to using this one that any other knife is going to be difficult now. But even my boy's Spyderco, it stays open. You know, you can flick it, and you have to actually push it closed. It's hard to see when I'm doing this. It just looks like I'm not doing it. But this is if you sneeze on it, it closes. Like I say, I tried tightening the nut up. That didn't really make any difference. But we'll go and get the scales, and we'll see if we can get some sort of an idea of difference in pressure to close these blades. Right, one set of tea-stained scales. I think this is in grams. So if I just put the weight of the knife on there, and we'll just push gently until it breaks. So that was about 500. We'll do it one more time, just to be doubly sure. Again, about 500, more like 450. We'll try my boy's Spyderco. That one's 750. We'll do that one again. 750. This one closes a little bit first. It's very strange when you feel it. It doesn't snap shut. Now we'll try the blade I use the most. And I've got to get this in a way where I'm not going to get my fingers, and it is actually going to close. So that one goes to about 600 or 700, but it doesn't snap shut. We'll try that again. It's 750-ish. Just one more time. It's difficult to get this one to close properly, but yeah, about 700 grams. So what we got? Thank you, scales. We've got 450 for that. These two were roughly 700. I don't use this one. It's my boys, so it just basically sits up there and he picks it up whenever we go out somewhere. Some of you out there will be horrified to the fact that I let my 11-year-old son carry a knife, but I've carried a penknife all my life, so why can't he? It's not illegal. So unfortunately, given how easily this closes, it is a good looking knife. I do like the look of the knife. It feels quite nice in my hand. I've got big hands, so a knife like this is I mean, you can see the difference. That one's a bit clumsy. It's a bit small. This blade, the closed blade, it makes the grip on a knife quite difficult. If I'm holding this knife really quite tightly, you can see it puts lines in your fingers where you're pressing on this. And I mean, I suppose I could Dremel the edges off of that. That'd make it a bit better, but not particularly good. Yeah, the Colombia River knife is I do prefer the handle. It feels nicer altogether, but I can't be doing with a knife that just closes so very easily. The reason I discovered it closed easy is because I was messing around in the garden and I was slashing at a few little stinging nettles and stuff like that with it, just to see how sharp it was. If it's sharp enough, it will slice through a stinging nettle without any kind of trouble. And I did a slash and it actually spun itself round, and because I was holding it towards the end of the blade to get some more leverage on it, it spun itself round and you know, it did what you guys have seen, or probably nearly done dozens of times with non-locking knives. Thankfully it didn't cut me, as you can see, but it definitely touched my hand quite hard. So unfortunately, it's got to go. It's not really good enough for me to carry each day. It closes too easily. It seems like the blade just doesn't want to take an edge. I can try it with the Lansky. The Lanskys are wicked for first sharpening when you get a new blade. And I'm going to go back to using this. They were both about the same price. This is £36. I think when I bought this one a couple of years ago, it was actually a lot dearer than it is now. There's another version of this. Oh look, I've lost a screw there. There's another version of this that's got the whole thing's made of plastic, similar to this. The whole thing's made of plastic, but I've got the stainless one. I prefer this. I mean, I can cut these scales out, take these scales out and put my own wooden ones in there if I wanted to. Add a bit of character to it. But yeah, I think it was dearer. These go for, if you can find them, they're a bit hard to get hold of now. These go for about the same price, sort of 35 to 40 quid. This was 36. I'm pretty certain I paid 50 for this when I bought it. Again, I buy most of my knives from Henny Hayes, or Henny Haynes, like probably most of you do. But yeah, this is gone. Back in an EDC bag, and that's where it's going to stay until I can find another one. So if anyone out there has got some suggestions of a half decent non-locking knife that's less than 3 inches, I do like the look of the Spyderco blades, but I really don't like the plastic handles. But then I suppose I could make myself some wooden handles to give it a bit more weight. The mechanism in this seems quite simple. There doesn't seem to be anything major in there that would cause me any issues if I was to make some wooden handles. But I can't really take that one because it's my son's. He's quite proud of his knife. If there's any way, anyone out there that knows how to improve this locking system so that I get a £2 or £3 lock, or you know, even 700 or 800, I don't think it's fair to compare the way this locks, because the mechanism inside the knife is completely different. This is a traditional, I don't know what it's called, but it's got a spring on the back of it. Whereas this is a slip joint. Inside there, there's two. No, it's not a slip joint. It's a slip joint knife. There's basically 2 pieces of spring steel that close shut with like ball bearings or pins in them that click into holes in the blade. But it's just not man enough for me. I'm sorry. It is a nice knife. I do like the look of it. It feels much better than that one in your hand, but I don't want to screw this screw up so that it's really tight, because you're struggling to close a tiny little really sharp blade. I'm going to end up cutting myself. I know myself well enough to know that. That's about the size of it. It's a lovely knife. It feels nice in my hand. It's good looking, you know, dark, tactical practical black, blah blah blah. A dark colour and a nice shiny stainless colour all mixed together. It does strike a fire steel, but I'll have to, if I was using it for a long time, I'd have to put a better edge on the back of there. It doesn't sharpen very easily, as far as I'm concerned. Other people might find it easier, and more importantly, it just closes far too easy, far too easy. It unlocks, and it's a damn shame really, because I actually quite like it. So like I say, if you've got any ideas to improve it, I've tried drilling the dents in the back of the blade that the pins lock into a bit deeper. Didn't make any difference. I considered putting something behind the spring, 2 pieces of spring steel, but I'll just give up. Kind of it for 30 or 40 quid. It can just basically go in a bin. That's about the size of it. That's a very short review. I've used the knife, like I say, probably for about a month, and I've just decided I don't like it very much, so I'll go back to my old one. Thank you for taking the time to watch, guys, and I'll probably see you in a few days. Bye.